Imagine this. You're flying over the northern Pacific, looking down at a rugged chain of islands scattered like stepping stones between Japan and Russia. On some maps, they're shaded as part of Japan. On others, they're clearly Russian territory. And depending on whose atlas you open, the same village can appear under two different flags. Welcome to Lost Map Files, where impossible cartographies reveal the hidden conflicts of history. The dispute centers on the Kuril Islands, a volcanic arc stretching from Japan's northernmost prefecture of Hokkaido to Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. Four of these islands, Iturup, Kunashir, Shikotan, and the Habomai islets, are claimed by both nations. The origins go back centuries. In 1855, the Treaty of Shimoda between Tsarist Russia and the Tokugawa shogunate of Japan clearly divided the islands. Japan held the southern Kurils, Russia the northern. But after the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, maps were redrawn again, with Japan gaining further territory. Then came World War II. In 1945, Soviet troops occupied the entire Kuril chain. By the San Francisco Peace Treaty of 1951, Japan renounced its claims to the Kurils, but argued that the disputed islands were never legally part of the Kurils to begin with. The archival evidence is fascinating. Russian maps from 1946 show the islands labeled in Cyrillic, marked with red Soviet military outposts. Japanese atlases from the 1960s still list them under Hokkaido prefectural jurisdiction. And today, even Google Maps switches labels depending on whether you access the platform from Tokyo or Moscow. Experts like historian Jeffrey Jukes have noted, the Kurils are not just dots on a map. They are symbols of national pride, identity, and unresolved war. But here's the strange part. Neither side has ever signed a peace treaty to officially end World War II precisely because of this cartographic dispute. To this day, Japan and Russia remain, technically, in a state of unresolved conflict. And it's not just history. Beneath the islands lie rich fishing grounds and potential oil and gas reserves. So the maps aren't just wrong, they're weapons, tools of power. Technical note, to understand how fragile this is, remember, borders on maps aren't just drawn with pens. They're enforced with treaties, wars, and sometimes pure guesswork. One misplaced line in 1855 has locked two nations in a 170-year deadlock. Think this is ancient history? Look at today's digital cartography. If you open your phone in Moscow, Google Maps will show the islands as part of Russia. In Tokyo, they'll appear Japanese. Even satellite GPS coordinates can't escape politics. And here's a chilling thought. If a global navigation error can still split nations in 2025, what does that say about the maps we trust every day? The Kurils are just one case. Across the world, from Kashmir to the South China Sea, there are borders we were never meant to see and treaties written to hide them. But here's the question I leave you with. When two countries can't even agree on what's real on a map, who decides what the world looks like? Subscribe to Lost Map Files for weekly journeys into the maps that rewrite history. And next time, we'll uncover how one erased island nearly sparked a global naval conflict. Maps aren't just records of territory. They're instruments of memory, power, and war.